The Dodgers, they're getting in fights again. The Shohei Ohtani, he's getting called out. There's an unfair Ohtani rule now. People got a problem with Ohtani. The New York Mets are falling apart. The Philadelphia Phillies are falling apart. Pete Crow Armstrong calls out the Dodger fans, then goes to LA to face the Dodgers fans. There's geese on the field. There's rats on the field. 2 players kissed on the field. Did you see that, Mitch?
Which time?
And there's nothing wrong with it. Isn't that right, Jack?
Of course, brother.
The Red Sox, who have probably had the worst week, they fired their entire coaching staff, basically. And the question is why? They came into the week 8-13. They got swept by the Yankees this week. Only scored 3 runs against the Yankees in a 3-game series. 5th worst offense by runs, 4th worst average in MLB, worst slugging percentage in the league. They are last in the league in homers. But on fucking Saturday, they play the Orioles, and guess what they do? They hit 17 runs against the Orioles. Looking good for the Red Sox. Things are looking up. Right after that game, Alex Cora, manager, fired. Peter Fatse, hitting coach, fired. Dylan Lawson, hitting coach, fired. Kyle Hudson, third base coach, fired. Joe Cronin, hitting strategy coach, fired. Ramon Vasquez, bench coach, fired. Jason Varitek, reassigned, but really fired. Alex Cora's response to this was to tweet out happy with a smiley face. Just before 4 a.m., Cora sent a reply all to all of the Red Sox, thanking the organization and saying that he will be okay with a winky face. That's 2 emojis that Cora has put out on record. Then he shares a clip of Mookie Betts on Instagram, where Mookie Betts is basically talking about how much he loves Alex Cora. Cora puts that on his story. Then he posts a picture with him and all of the coaches smiling on the private jet going home. Some of the players weren't fans of this. So apparently the front office addresses the team after firing the entire staff. That Trevor Story, their shortstop, is not happy. He said, quote, "Some of the best coaches in the world didn't get a fair shot. It's up in the air what true direction this franchise is heading." He was out of the lineup on Sunday. I don't know. They said it was a rest day. I don't know. Rob Bradford got a text from a former player, quote, "It's like you're shitting your pants and changing your shirt." Miss Starr out of Boston says, another former player, "No accountability on Breslo's part," referring to the GM. "Fires everyone but his pitching coaches?" Question mark. 7 coaches? He should fire himself. Kevin Pillar, former player, "They should have fired Breslow." So far this year, Red Sox, 29th in homers, 28th in OPS, 27th in starters ERA. The Dodgers, they're rubbing everyone the wrong way this year, man. They really are. Dalton Rushing, last week he accuses the Rockies of cheating. Then this week in the 6th inning, Jung-Hoo Lee was down. He's on the field in pain, shaken up. Rushing says, quote, "Fuck him." He also did try to apologize to Jung-Hoo Lee after the game. So if you're going to send an apology, you probably did say fuck him. Then he gets hit by a pitch in the next game. Logan Webb nails him with one. What does he do? Does he say sorry? No. He goes into second base hard as crap, tries to take out the guy at second base. Does it, gets called out for illegal slide. Doesn't matter. Fuck him. Quote, "If it was intentional, I'll take it. I'll take what I deserve." And they go and play the Cubs. There's like a little bit of a wild pitch, I think, ball in the dirt. Miguel Amaya steals second base, is safe, and he calls him a fat fuck. In 1 week, Dalton Rushing accuses the Rockies of cheating, says fuck him to a player who's injured on the ground, calls a runner a fat fuck, slugs .778 with 3 home runs all in the same week. Dalton Rushing this year, he's batting .400 with a 1,500 OPS, has 7 home runs on the season.
In 12 games.
An amazing season for Dalton Rushing. I mean, unbelievable week. Shohei Ohtani, he's getting called out. Craig Counsell in general has a problem with this Ohtani rule. The Cubs currently have 11 pitchers on the IL, 8 relievers on their IL. In MLB now, you're only allowed to have 13 pitchers on a roster. However, there's a clause in this rule. If you are a 2-way player, like Shohei Ohtani, you don't count as a pitcher. So the Dodgers have 14 pitchers. Every other team is only allowed to have 13 pitchers. Craig Counsell says it's unfair. According to one front office member, it's the, quote, "most lopsided advantage in major professional sports." The Braves broadcaster also came out saying it was unfair. If there was ever a scenario where Shohei was like hurt, don't really see him as a full-time pitcher, they would just not let him pitch because it wouldn't be worth the roster spot. Now with the extra roster spot, if there was ever a scenario where Shohei was like, you know, half injured or trying to rehab, you could do it and not have to worry about a team just throwing it away. It incentivizes the two-way player, if you know what I mean. And maybe in the future, there'll be a new two-way player because of this rule. The Dodgers, anyway, they scored 4 runs against the Giants in a 3-game series, which is not good. The Giants bullpen shut them down and give up 0 runs in this series. The Giants beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3 in that rivalry matchup where they hit my man on purpose. Patrick Bailey comes in the game. This guy was batting 145 with a 145 slugging, 8 hits all year, all singles, 362 OPS. He's the worst hitter in baseball. Comes up.
High drive to left. It is out of here.
3-run bomb in the clutch to beat the Dodgers. They win 2 out of 3. So they only score 16 runs this week, have the second least runs in baseball, and go 4-2. Their bullpen pitched 17 innings and gave up just 2 runs. 3rd best bullpen in baseball this season. Rafael Devers, -1 WAR. A whole WAR, dude. Worst player in baseball according to Fangraphs WAR. So slow start for Devers. Speaking of slumps, Shohei Ohtani, 1 for 16, 0 home runs, 0 RBIs, 1 walk. His OPS got below 800. Saturday, though, 1 for 3 with 2 walks. Then Sunday breaks out 3 for 3 with a double and a home run, 6th home run of the season. And he pitches his 3rd scoreless appearance on Wednesday, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, 0 runs, and 7 strikeouts. So 3 out of 4 of his starts have been scoreless. It's the 2nd best ERA in baseball among starters, minimum 20 innings. Dodgers end the week 4-3, best record in baseball other than the Braves. 11-game losing streak for the Mets. Noah McClain is pitching. He gets 10 strikeouts. He has no hitter into the 6th inning. Looks like they're going to win. Lindor hits a bomb. Lindor is back, baby. It's a home run. Unfortunately, McClain gives up 3 runs. Now they're tied 3-3. They put in Devin Williams, who walks a guy, walks another guy, gives up a sac bunt, then gives up the lead on an RBI single, walks another guy with the bases loaded, blows the game, and gets booed. That's a 12-game losing streak for the Mets. And Devin Williams has given up a run in his last 4 appearances. 8 runs in 2 innings pitched for Devin Williams, a blown save and a loss during that stretch. Batters this year are hitting 474 off his changeup. That was the best pitch in baseball for, I want to say, multiple years in a row. That was a 3-year, $51 million deal he signed with the Mets. -0.6 WAR with a 10.29 ERA. He's supposed to come in a game to pitch the 9th. Haskar Barazoban thought he was also going to pitch that inning. I guess he doesn't see Devin Williams coming in. However, he notices that the Devin Williams theme music's coming on, so he's already getting out to the mound. Unfortunately, there's a rule. If you pass the baseline, you got to come in the game. So now Devin Williams, he can't pitch in the game. Oscar comes in, gets the first out. Then they bring in Williams. He ends up giving up 3 hits and a run, almost blows the game, but does not blow that game. And that is how they break the streak. They actually beat the Twins 2 out of 3. You might think, wow, Mets are turning it around. Juan Soto comes off the IL. Very first day Soto comes off the IL, Francisco Lindor on the IL. He gets injured with a calf strain, won't do baseball activities until mid-May at the earliest. And then this weekend, they get swept by the Rockies at home. They had the bases loaded with 1 out in the 1st inning and the 8th inning, go 0-4 with 3 strikeouts. They scored 0 runs. In 2 games, they score 1 run. Kodai Senga goes only 2 2/3 innings, has a 9 ERA this season. There's talk that he might get demoted. Transition. The Phillies might be worse than the Mets. So the Phillies come into this week losing 5 in a row. They lose 5 more in a row. So that's 10 losses in a row. Lost 15 of their last 18 games. They have a -54 run differential, the Phillies. That's the worst in baseball. Their run differential, 24 runs worse than the Mets in run differential for the Phillies. 10 losses in a row. 7 of those losses were to the Cubs. They entered this stretch. They were 8-8, 1.5 games back of the Braves. Today, they are 9-19, tied for the worst record in baseball, and are 10.5 games back of the Atlanta Braves. Zach Wheeler returns. 5 innings, 6 Ks, 2 earned runs. That's the only game they won all week. Starters this week, 6.92 ERA. Last year, they were 2nd in ERA last season. They are a lot worse this year. Christopher Sanchez is the only pitcher with an ERA under 5. The Phillies right now tied in last with the measly Mets. Wow. Then the Nationals, the Marlins, and the Braves, 11 games over 500. They have the best run differential in baseball, the best offense in baseball, and the biggest lead in baseball, 6.5 game lead. Cubs, hottest team in baseball at the moment. The Cubs had a 10-game winning streak. They beat the Phillies 6 times, beat the Mets 3 times, and then beat the Dodgers. During that streak, they're 1st in runs, 1st in average, 1st in on-base percentage, 1st in slugging, 1st in OPS, and 3rd in home runs. What does that tell you? The boys can mash. Also, there's a goose on the field. Goose is in left field. Michael Busch hits a ball at the goose. The goose flies away, flies out of the stadium. Exactly 1 year ago to the day, there was a different goose also at the field, not on the field, in the bleachers. They actually had to close a section of the bleachers for the goose. 1 year to the date, there is a goose on the field. They don't know if it's the same goose or a different goose. Day after the goose is there, there's a rat on the field, and it runs across the Phillies dugout. It curses the Phillies, who are on a tough stretch, and it stops and it scares the one and only Taiwan Walker. He gets DFA'd 2 days later. Pete Crow Armstrong, this guy, grows up in Los Angeles, LA kid. Comes out this offseason, he says, quote, "I love Chicago fans. They aren't just baseball fans who go to the games like Dodgers fans who take pictures and whatever. They are paying attention. They care." So he sends massive shots at Dodgers fans this offseason. Now he's got to go to LA and play in LA, gets booed in his first at-bat, strikes out. Dodgers social media posts a video of it and says, "A strikeout worthy of taking pictures and whatever." In the ninth, he lines a single, Dansby Swanson hits a go-ahead home run, and the Cubs beat the Dodgers for their 10th game in a row. So what does Pete Armstrong do? He goes in the dugout and he says, "Where are you?" saying they're fake fans. They ask him about it after the game, and he triple quadruples down. He says after the game, quote, "It's a see me city. It's a Lakers city where people show up to sit courtside and look good. And I view it the same way here." Game 2, he comes up with the bases loaded down by 4, strikes out. 0 for 4, 4 Ks. This play is a tough play in center field. Makes a good play in game 3, goes 1 for 3 with a walk. So he goes 2 for 10 with 2 walks. But the Cubs have a great week. Right now they are in second place, 1 game back, right above the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 2 games back. The Milwaukee Brew Crew are in last, tied with the St. Louis Cardinals. I want to talk about the Athletics now, because the Athletics, but right now we got a team without a city in first place. Tickets this week were cheaper for the AAA team than the A's game. They beat the Mariners 2 out of 3, then beat the Rangers 2 out of 3, and move into first place in the AL West. Only team in the AL West with a winning record right now. They got a guy named Carlos Cortez. This guy's got a 1,121 OPS. 28-year-old rookie. He's 5'7". He's a switch thrower, and he is the 4th best hitter in MLB according to OPS. Also, Nick Kurtz. This is from Sarah Langs. He's been walked 16 games in a row. The record is 18 games in a row. That's Barry Bonds. 3 games away to break the walk record. Leads the league in walks, has a 133 OPS plus. Then you got Shea Bangalier's 146 OPS plus, and Brent Rooker's back off the IL. Playoff odds are at 38.7%. Seattle Mariners, who are currently in 3rd place, have a 74.9% chance to make the playoffs. They are 1.5 games back, and the Rangers, a 54% chance to make the playoffs, who are 1 game back. Let's go to the Royals, man. The Royals entered this week on a terrible streak, on a 7-game losing streak, tied for the worst record in baseball. Then they lose 2 out of 3 to the Orioles. They gave up the tying run in the 9th for their 8th straight loss. It was really the offensive fault, because they only scored 1 run against the frickin' Orioles. It was the 4th worst offense in baseball going into this week. So the first 23 games, they scored 88 runs. This week, they scored 41 runs in 5 games. So this week, they exploded. They sweep the Angels. They scored 29 runs in 3 games. Salvador Perez goes 3 for 5 with a homer in game 2. Jack Caglione hits a pinch hit, game-tying home run in the 9th inning. Gets kissed by Vinny Pasquantino. Even after this little small win streak they got going on, last place tied with the White Sox, but they're only 3.5 games back of first place because the Twins are in 3rd. They're 4 games under 500. The Detroit Tigers and Guardians are tied for 1st, and they are 15 and 14 each. J.R. Ritchie makes his MLB debut for the Atlanta Braves. His first major league pitch of all time.
That made the trek from Washington. Dad wearing his son's Bainbridge Spartans high school uniform in support of J.R. Ritchie today. And his first big league pitch is hammered deep to right. And it is gone.
Allows a homer on the first pitch, and then he locked in. He went 7 innings, only allowed 1 more run after that.
Hey, the Braves first in the league in runs, first team to 20 wins, still haven't lost a series, 6.5 game lead over the Marlins right now. Matt Olson, 173 OPS plus. Ozzie Albies, 137 OPS plus.
Since punching himself in the head, Chris Sale has a 0.95 ERA.
Everything has gone right for the Braves. When does the downfall start, Mitchell?
Hopefully never.
And that is all for this week's episode, guys. If we missed your favorite team or you want to hear us go more in depth on your favorite team, click this link to hear the full-length podcast. We have timestamps for all 30 teams. We cover all 30 every single week. So thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. See you next time.